Okay, guys, I don't need any gimmicks. I was thinking that I did because I really want people to be interested in this information. But I don't, because all I have to do is talk about what's happened in the last 24 to 36 hours. I'm trying to start an informational session, an informational session on emergency management and being prepared. So in the last 24 hours, today is June the 25th, Thursday, and the last 24 to 36 hours, they have had major earthquakes in Argentina with over 200 people dead, over 1,000 missing. They've had earthquakes in Japan. In the United States, we have had massive flash floods in Florida, severe floodings in Missouri, which are just starting to get a little bit better. We have had storms from the Midwest all the way to the East Coast, 1,200 storms. That's how many they have identified, some of them catastrophic. And in Illinois alone, in the last 2 days, they have had over 200 tornadoes. So that's a lot. And when you think about it, statistically, 53% of Americans do not have any kind of emergency management plan in there. I mean, they're not prepared. We won't even talk about plans. They just say that they are not prepared. 50% of them said they have no extra supplies, food, medicine, anything like that that's going to help them get through some type of emergency. And then only a third of them have any kind of plans in order. So they, do you know if you're separated from your family and there's a bad storm and your spouse is coming home or your kids are at college and they're trying to get home for the day and cell phone towers are down? Do you have a way to communicate with each other? If you don't have roads or vehicles to get to each other, do you have a place that you can meet? Those are just some simple little things that I want to start helping people think about. Preparing for harder economic times. It's no secret that that's happening right now. If milk is $6 a gallon and ground beef is $10 a pound. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I don't want people to be afraid, but there are some things that are happening now that are making us be able to think about preparing for things. And you know what? If you get ready and nothing bad happens, then hey, that's okay. You're still ready. We will talk about when you're doing things like preparing water or food or medicine, things like that, how you can go through and just make sure that you're not wasting anything as well. Because not everybody has money to go in and get, tanks of water and tons of food. So there are ways that you can do it a little bit at a time that anybody can be ready. And it helps everyone. So I really hope that this sounds interesting to you. I have wanted to do these sessions for several years now, and it has just kind of been laid upon my heart. I had a very good friend of mine that knew I wanted to do this, and he's passed away now, so I'll be thinking about him the whole time. But I hope to get some experts in here because I'm not the expert, but I do want to bring people together to talk about what we can do. The government is not going to help us, and that's not to say anything bad about the government. This is not political. This is not negative. It's just that if you live in a town with 10,000 people and there are 50 first responders, how in the world are those 50 first responders going to help every single person? So realistically, you have to think about, what are you going to do for yourself? Do you want to be the person that can go into your pantry and have that extra food and water, or are you going to have to go waiting 3 days and standing in line to get water or toilet paper or something like that? We already saw that COVID was difficult for people with supply not being there in, the stores. So that could very well happen again. It doesn't take much. We want to talk about electricity. Do you even know where your power comes from? And if there's any potential for you to have, a big outage. We use electricity for so many things right now. And if there's a big enough heat wave, like right now in Europe, the worst heat wave they've had in a very, very long time, which means that the grids, it's too much for the grids. And when we had to have power for something, the government will shut grids down to say, hey, we want hospitals and first responders to get the power. And you may have to go at home and not have those ACs running because it gets hot enough. So there's there's lots of stuff to talk about. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about being resilient and being ready and not having to worry about when things are getting bad because you don't know if you're ready. So anyways, I hope this is a good introduction. I don't know if this is interesting or not. And I kept thinking about interesting ways, like to make things funny or silly, and I haven't thought of anything yet. So hopefully the topic alone is something that you want to listen to. Well, we're going to talk about how to pressure can food so you don't have to worry about stuff in your freezer, or how to make sure you have a go bag. So if someone comes to you and says, you have to leave your house in the next 10 minutes, or you're going to die because there's a chemical cloud coming above your house, which could happen, can you pick up and go? Things like that. So anyways, I hope this is a good introduction. I'm trying to keep things under 10 minutes, but we will start getting into a lot heavier topics, which will last a whole lot longer. So please let me know what different topics involved with emergency preparedness that you've been thinking about, things maybe that you have went through that you could share with me and with everybody else to say, this is something that you did that really helped. I love it. I would love to be able to share those stories. I think it helps us all to understand that those things can happen and that we don't need to be worried about it. We just need to be prepared about it. So, all right, guys, let's make this work, please. I think it would be great. So the more you share this, the more you watch it, the more you listen to it. We've got that algorithm in there. So let's see if we make that work. Anyways, thanks a lot. Take care. One more thing I almost forgot. The next topic that, if you want to go on to the next video, is the list of how we get started. So I'm actually going to have some documents that you can download, and that it just starts from the beginning. How do I get started? That's actually a really popular question that people say. How do I get started prepping, preparing, all those types of things? So I have a list for you. And the very first thing on that list is going to be assessing what type of emergencies could possibly happen, because there's so many, you can get overwhelmed. And typically, to get your own plan moving, you need to figure out what the potential is in your area. Like if you live near the ocean, there's a possibility for a hurricane, probably not a tornado. So you can assess what would happen, and then you can kind of get started from that point, and we'll move you on to the next thing. So just want to let you know. Thanks.